defense sure wasn't there this weekend. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Satsu Videocast. Today we're going to recap this afternoon's spring training game between the Philadelphia Phillies and New York Yankees as the Phillies lose 4-0 to the Yankees as Zach Wheeler gives up a grand slam to Brett Gardner and he bowed in the second inning. Now, guys, before getting into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So, wow, this afternoon's game was pretty boring. It was on MLB Network. I said in yesterday's video that the game was not going to be televised today. It turns out that it was. It was on actually Yes Network. The Yankees Network was actually doing it. And they showed on MLB Network, which is so nice to see. I'm so glad that we actually got to see a surprise Phillies baseball game today because it really wasn't supposed to be televised. We didn't know until like the 11th hour. So it's nice to see that rather than, not even see it at all. I mean, once again, it's just ridiculous the age we live in 2021. And we don't even get to at least have it on radio. I mean, I understand today was on radio, but even a road game, you don't even get to listen to it on the radio. So, it's just been, it's just kind of weird. It's just kind of strange. But, today, it's not the Phillies' day. I mean, this was just not the Phillies' weekend. Zach Wheeler started this game for the Phils. As I said, gave up a grand slam to Brett Gardner in the bottom second inning. That was pretty much the only damage that happened in this ball game. Today was just a pretty disappointing performance. We played a full 9-inning game. Only 5 hits collected by the Phils. Bryce Harper got the start at DH. Went 0 for 3, 2 groundouts, and a strikeout. He looked like he was trying to pull the ball. His first at-bat, he roped it. Second at-bat, he really reached out for it, and he struck out on the third one. So, Bryce, first game, I understand he went yard, hit that single through the shift, but today it's not really his day. Matt Joyce, going 2 for 2, collecting 2 hits. That was pretty nice to see. Didi Gregorius, an interesting story, wears number 95 today, because he forgot his jersey in Clearwater. Pretty irresponsible, right? And I think it was Tim Kelly that put this out. It said, in high school you would have gotten benched, right? He forgot his jersey in Clearwater. He forgot his number 18, Gregorius, and so he had to wear a number 95. I don't know where they got that from. I mean, just laying around or something. Who knows? That's the jersey he had to wear today. And take a look at the scoring summary. Not much of a scoring summary. I understand the Yankees did push across 4 runs, but it was in this one play in the bottom second inning as Brett Gardner hits a grand slam to right field. His first home run of the spring. Of course, the Yankees did bring him back. And that scores Torres, Sanchez, and Duhar. And the Yankees go on to win by that score 4-0 your final. As Zach Wheeler just did not have it in this one. Once again, I love Zach Wheeler. I mean, you saw, got out a little jam there. I believe that was in the bottom of the first inning with Luke Voit, strikes out Luke Voit. Stanton, they kind of had a 2-out rally going there. Aaron Hicks drew a walk, and then Giancarlo Stanton drilled 1-2 left field. I think that was good for a double. Second and third, and then Luke Voit goes down on strikes swinging. So Zach Wheeler was able to work himself out of that bottom of first inning jam. And first of all, the defense was just not there today. It just wasn't there. We had not only the defense, but the heads up play at the plate. So situational hitting. But one play in the field, it really was just mind-boggling for me was Didi Gregorius gets himself a routine ground ball, and he just, botches the throw, right? It just, the throw to Brad Miller at first base was just pathetic. He literally threw like this, he leaned in too much. He put too much of his body weight in there and bounced. Not much Brad Miller could do, with that. Went down as an E6, of course. So that was pretty pathetic for Didi Gregorius. Once again, he needs to clean up that defense. I love Didi Gregorius. He's one of my favorite players on this team. That's one thing we need to talk about. Didi Gregorius' defense, not the greatest. I think we all know that. Not the greatest is something that he really needs to work on. Our defense in the left side of the infield is pretty bad. With Didi Gregorius and Alec Boehm, not the greatest defenders in the world. The defense in the infield, period, is just not that great. Another thing that drove me crazy today, Gene Segura, I believe this was at the beginning of the ball game. He hits a ground ball to second base. Almost right into the outfield. DJ Mayhew makes a nice spinning play, and you see Gene Segura moping down the line. Just jogging. Run your heart out. I understand it's spring training, but my oh my. I can't stand the laziness. I can't stand it. Run your heart out. This is your job. These are professional baseball players. They get paid. This is their full-time job. So you can't tell me, man, you're just going to jog down. This isn't a volunteer work. This is your job. And you get paid to play your heart out. Pete Rose, right? Charlie Hustle. You should learn from him. I'm not personally a big fan of Pete Rose. I understand he was a Philly. all-time hit leader. I don't see him bet on baseball, but one thing that he said, a little interesting story here. Pete Rose's dad once saw him not run out a ground ball, and he said, "Did you run your hardest?" After the game, he said, "Did you run your hardest?" And Pete Rose said he had to think, and he said, "No." And his dad said, "I never want to see you embarrass me like that again." And since that, after that, Pete Rose busted his butt every single time out of that batter's box. And Gene Segura, we're paying him a good amount of money. I mean, my goodness. I mean, I just can't stand laziness, and that's not the first time that he's been lazy and moped down the line. I remember in Washington in June of 2019. We were there, and he hit a little pop-up in the outfield, and he thought it was just going to be chalked down. He just jogs out of the box, and ended up dropping it, and he's standing on first base. He should have been on second base because he was lazy. He was lazy, and you saw that again today. He should have easily beat that out. And Gene Segura, if he runs, he's fast. He's a pretty fast. I mean, he's not like insanely fast, but he has a decent amount of speed. So there's really no excuse for that. I can't stand laziness. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is your full-time job. Once again, if you hit the ball in play, you run. You run. You don't jog. You run. I understand. Yes, it's spring training. And I think, there's some thoughts out there that, maybe the coaches, Girardi, Rob Thompson, they'd say, hey, go a little easy. Don't really run your hardest. We don't want to, have a potential injury on our hands here. But, that was pathetic. Come on. He could have easily beat that. I understand it's spring training, but don't you want to put a, good impression on your manager? I don't really get that. He could have easily beat that. Even though, don't really go your hardest, but that was like a level below going, just below your hard, you're running as hard as you can. It just was. That was just a lame jog right there. That was just so lame. I do not want to see that again. I know we probably will, but I tell you what, that kind of behavior was tolerated under manager Gabe Kapler 2 years ago. And we didn't really get to see much of Joe Girardi in 2020 due to the shortened 60-game season. But I tell you, in 2021, the first full season, Joe Girardi, especially once we get down to the later days, the hot August and September days, that behavior is not going to be tolerated. The reason why we didn't see much of the shenanigans last year is because everyone had a full tank of gas and it was just a short 60-game season. But here in 2021, back to a 162-game schedule. As I said, once we get down to the dog days, August and September, you're going to start to see shenanigans like that pop up with, guys hitting balls to the wall. And Bryce Harper's guilty of this. I love Bryce Harper. He's my favorite player. You guys know how much, I advocate for him and push for him. And I think he's awesome. He's my favorite player. But there's been a lot of instances where, he's been criticized for it. And I understand. He hits the ball, he thought he got it. And, he's on, just on second base. He could have gotten a triple out of it, or he even could have gotten a double out of it. Or he barely, even gets to second base because he almost got thrown out because he thought it was gone and he stands there and watches it. Yasiel Puig did that when he was with the Dodgers too. Dave Roberts benched him. So you saw Cesar Hernandez do that in August of 2019 at Marlins Park. And nothing was done about it. Gabe Kapler didn't do anything because Gabe Kapler was a weak and ineffective manager. But that's not the case here with Joe Girardi. This is his second year. I look at this as the first full year. First full year of Joe Girardi. So I think last year was hard for him to really develop that relationship. This year, it's going to be different. So I understand technically it's his second year, but I kind of look at this as his first year. You know what I'm saying? Because last year was just so short. He didn't really have enough time to really, show his worth. So I guarantee you, there was definitely a talk or two after that. At least I hope there was. There better have been. I saw clear as day. He was not running his hardest, and that really, really bothers me. Really bothers me. But as you take a look at the box score here a little bit, Didi Gregorius also hitting with some runners in scoring position. Couldn't get the job done. Our situational hitting today, we had some opportunities to score some runs. We just leave so many runners on base. I understand this is spring training, but you got to see a little bit today. A lot of runners left on base. We had a prime opportunity. Didi Gregorius doesn't get the job done. So that was just a really, really frustrating inning there. But as I said, Matt Joyce 2 for 2. Collects 2 hits. That's good for him. And Mickey Moniak collecting a hit as well. So, and Ronald Torreyes, I will give him that. He lined the ball at the short. I for sure thought that ball was going to go in the outfield and he would be able to get a hit on that, but that was pretty disappointing. I hate to see that. He hit the ball on the ropes, man. That was loud. Hit it right to Gleyber Torres. He made that easy catch. It was just right to him. But as we take a look at Zach Wheeler's start, he was shaky. I mean, he went 2 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, all 4 were earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and a home run allowed. Just not his day. It just wasn't his day at all. That first inning, as I said, he gets 2 outs. Then Aaron Hicks draws a walk. Giancarlo Stanton doubles down the left field line, and then he strikes out Luke Voit to avoid that jam. Then in the bottom of the second inning, last night grand slam to Brett Gardner after he laid the bases. So, I mean, his control wasn't there, as he said. You saw the 2 walks. Only 4 strikeouts. Today was just not his day. He wasn't locating well. His fastball looked pretty lively, especially when he was facing Luke Voit, and he was blowing by him there. But other than that, I was not really impressed with Wheels today. He doesn't really do great in spring training. If you go back and look at spring training 2020, he didn't really have the greatest numbers. So you can't really scrutinize too much there. Not really the end of the world. But other than that, our bullpen really did its job. I mean, we got to see Ivan Nova, Brian Mitchell, and Brandon Kinsler. They all did their jobs well. And Tony Watson, I mean, they all did great. I mean, this is really promising to see. I understand. We got to see a lot of the Yankee starters today. I mean, you got to see Gary Sanchez, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Hicks, Aaron Judge. I mean, we got to see a lot of the Yankee starters. DJ Mayhew, Gleyber Torres. I mean, Miguel Andujar, of course, Gio Urshela seems some time at third base too. But, most of the Yankees, everyday Yankees were in the lineup today. So, that's the thing. That's the thing. And our bullpen did as well as it did. That's pretty encouraging. That is pretty encouraging. Of course, you got to factor in there's substitutions. There's pinch hitting opportunities. I understand that, but our bullpen still did its job today. If you take away the bad start from Zach Wheeler, who just did not have it today. So Zach Wheeler now 0-1 on the spring, an 8.21 ERA. He just did not have it this afternoon. It's just, it's not really the end of the world. As I said, spring training, 8.31 ERA, excuse me. I said 8.21, I meant 8.31. What's really the big difference there? But just didn't have it this afternoon. And as I said, wasn't locating well. He just did not have his best stuff, as I said. Even at the bottom of the first inning, that was shaky. He just avoided the jam after striking out Luke Voit. And then he couldn't get out of it when he faced Brett Gardner. Made him pay with the grand slam. And I have to say, I'm glad we got to see the game today at least, but, watching on another, opposing team, that was the Yankees side, that was a little bit hard to follow. Of course, during Harper's second at-bat, you couldn't even watch it. Because they were talking to somebody, I don't know who it was, about Gary Sanchez. It was one of the Yankees coaches, I don't really know who it was, and you barely couldn't even see Bryce hit. So, that was just ridiculous. I was live streaming on Harper Fanatics, I'm like, dude, come on, show Harper's at-bat. I couldn't even see Bryce. So that was pretty pathetic. But other than that, not a bad job. Of course, I'd much rather hear T-Mac and, all those other guys. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section. At Phillies House of Instagram, TikTok, our Fanatics Instagram. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshousef@gmail.com. So off day tomorrow, and then we go to TD Ballpark again to face the Toronto Blue Jays. We're always playing the same teams. The Tigers, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Yankees. It's always the same teams. And Vince Velasquez going against former New York Met Steven Matz, who I believe we faced last time. Or not last time, but a couple times before, because we just played these teams over and over and over again. It just kind of gets old after a while. They were supposed to have some split squads this spring training, but I understand why they got rid of them. I get it. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video once again. Let's go Phillies. The Phillies lose today by a final score of 4-0 to the Yanks. The evil empire, Zach Wheeler, gives up that grand slam to Brett Gardner. The offense was just nowhere to be seen this weekend. Just one run Saturday and Sunday combined. We lost 7-1 yesterday, and we lose 4-0 today. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phillies. Tuesday against the Toronto Blue Jays. It will not be recapped. I'm thinking about doing the Tigers and Yankees at both at Baker Ballpark will be most likely recapped. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phillies. I'll see you guys.